940 penalty infringement notices issued in the last 24 hours right across the state. Of course, many of those in the centre of Sydney and surrounds in relation to the protest or lack of protest activity, thankfully, in the city yesterday. What I would like to highlight today is, again, in the last 24 hours is over 5,000 people right across the state were checked to make sure that they complied with their isolation orders. These are people that are directed to stay at home. These are positive cases, these are close contacts. These are people that clearly know that they need to isolate at a location. 5,000 of those people were checked in the last 24 hours by Australian Defence Force and police teams. One of those locations at Lake Macquarie, there were meant to be 4 people at that premise. There were only 3 who came forward and presented to police. One of those people were later found at an address at Kurri Kurri, which is some distance away. That person was directed to return back to her residence, which she did, and was issued a $5,000 penalty infringement notice. People need to understand that if you're under one of these orders or directions, that you need to stay put, that you need to do what is asked of you, because the actual presence of police in terms of inspecting that you are where you should be is not a routine thing. These inspections continue throughout the day and night, and in this instance where we have someone that clearly puts people at risk and goes outside of the agreement that has been reached, we will put that to the top of the list. Police will risk assess where they need to be, and that particular residence with those 4 people inside of it will now be checked on a more frequent basis to make sure that compliance is achieved. What I would also like to highlight today is that the emergency management arrangements at local, regional and state level are alive and functioning well in Western and far Western New South Wales. At Wilcannia at the moment, there's a local emergency operations centre open at the police station. There are the normal policing resources available to that community and are working hard with the community. The health resources are there. We actually also weave into that emergency management response there the support around other government agencies. It is a challenging and difficult situation, not just for the residents there, but for emergency service workers and functional areas. But people need to be reassured that not just the local arrangements, but how they feed that into arrangements at Broken Hill, the next biggest town, and then at Dubbo itself under Assistant Commissioner McKechnie, there is a large and diverse group of people out of the RFS Academy there that plan and support those local operations, and of course that feeds into the CERCON here at St Leonard's. So people need to understand that these people are not and will not be left behind, that we will support them through what is a very challenging and difficult time, whether you live in a small remote community or whether you live in the centre of Sydney here. The arrangements work well, the same arrangements that we would use for a fire or a flood, but different in terms of the health and welfare of people. Thank you.